Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of NAVAFIZ. Today we will be talking about modern hiring process. So my name is Liaquat Ali, and we used to conduct these sessions on regular basis with different technical topics. And as a NAVAFIZ, we try to support job seekers and professionals and recruiters and hiring authorities so they can achieve their goals and targets. And today we have with us Miss Mahnoor. Welcome, Mahnoor.
Thank you so much, Liaquat Saab.
And we have Mr. Mohammad Shahid also with us, and both are expert in this field. So, Miss Mahnoor, please introduce yourself so our audience can know your details, and then we will start technical discussion on the topic.
Okay, so myself is Mahnoor Tai and I'm from Karachi. And I am serving our organization in Karachi as an HR journalist for more than 3 years. And now, since a year, I am working with an international firm. Meanwhile, I'm very much engaged on LinkedIn and working as a freelance recruiter there to outsource candidates for companies. So this is all my introduction. Thank you so much, Liaquat Saab, for hosting this session and for helping all the overseas people through your channel.
Thank you, and most welcome. And now we will move to Mr. Mohammad Shahid. So, Shahid, please tell about yourself, and then we will start the technical discussions.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Liaquat, for having me here, and thank you, Mahnoor. So, my name is Mohammad Shahid, and I go by the name Shane, and I am working as a lead recruiter with iQuizar LLC, based in Sterling, Virginia, and we are hiring people across the United States and for the federal government in the U.S. So, yeah, we'll be talking. We'll like to know more about like what's going on in the market. We'll be having like recruiters, job seekers on this call. So yeah, um, thank you for having me here. I greatly appreciate.
Great, great. So once again, it's really a pleasure, and that you spare your time. And we had a discussion before, and then we planned this event, and then you spare your time, and now even some before going live also, we have to arrange few things. So once again, I really from my heart, yeah, thanks for your time and support. So let's start with our first questions. So I would like Mr. Shahid to respond on this, that how we can use our resume or CV to make an impact and stand out of the crowd. And why does ATS score play an important role in getting job? And here I would also like to add that some people get confused in resume and CV also, and some people write it in from full form. So
Yes.
if you can just put a light on this point also, and then relate it to the point that how it can stand out, how can create impact. Because normally I used to say it is when you apply for a job and you are not being selected, it's not you, it's basically your CV which is being rejected. So if you
Exactly.
can put more light on this.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you again for having me here. So yeah, I would like to talk about this. So on this question, like this is from job seekers' perspective. So whenever we are applying for any position, and so there are millions of candidates competing for that position. So we are in a competition there, and everybody wants to stand out in the crowd. And so there are some things we have to keep in mind. So based on the experiences that hiring managers have shared with us, so working as a recruiter, so I will say like if our resume is telling a story, so that would definitely be helpful. So in US we talk about, like, we call it resume, and in Gulf or Middle East, so they mainly call it CV. So it's used interchangeably, so no need to confuse yourself. So it's actually like who you are, what you have done so far professionally, your education background, and the skill set that you have. So coming to the question, like how we can use our resume to make an impact and stand out of the crowd. So um, like as I said, like if our resume is telling a story, something that we have done unique, or for example, if we have built something that is like something value adding to the table, or if we own something, and or if we have like done anything interesting or worked on a unique project, so we should definitely mention that on our resume. So let me give you an example here. I, as a recruiter, so there are like other recruiters who are like currently either available in the market looking for a job, or some of them are already employed. So if somebody asks me like, hey, what do you do? And if they ask about my resume, if I'll mention that I'm hiring or recruiting people, so that's my job actually. So it's not talking about something that's adding value to the process, or something unique that I'm bringing to the table. So what I can do here, if I'm like working on a unique project, for example, we are working on diversity, equity, and inclusion, so DEI. So if I'm working on that and I'm like working as a subject matter expert there, so I can add that thing to my resume, because nowadays recruiters who are aware of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, so they are given preference, because now companies are like they want to hire more diverse workforce, and they
Mhm.
want to have more people like from different backgrounds, from different with different skill set. So I think this is just an example how we can like make our resume look better, and that will definitely help us to stand in the crowd. So to cut it short, I would say if our resume is telling a story that, hey, I'm something who's working in the talent acquisition domain, and I have been involved in these projects, and I am a part of DEI, so I'm a part of recruitment strategy and innovation. So this is something that could add value, because there will be other recruiters like competing with me for this particular position. So if I want to stand out, I should definitely use these tactics if I have been a part of any of these unique projects. And then the second part of the question is, why does ADS score play an important role in getting a job? So if we talk about the current scenario, since we have like the topic is modern recruiting or hiring process. So nowadays, hiring managers or hiring authorities or companies that are recruiting, so they mainly rely on automation. So earlier, we used to screen, we used to gather applications like manually, but now we have ATS. So applicant tracking system is there. So that is something that's helping both employers and somehow job seekers as well. So I'm saying like if a company is asking you to upload your resume and then they're asking you to fill that form manually, so you're getting ghosted. So I request all the companies here. So if you ask for a resume from a candidate who's applying for a job, so please don't ask them to fill the details manually, because then there is no fun of having this automated applicant tracking system. So I think this will definitely help. So yeah, our AI, so that is helping us to screen the candidates using some filters, some predefined like criteria that we have mentioned. For example, if we are hiring for a software developer and we need someone with front end experience. So they should have front end development experience, and also a bachelor's in computer science is required, and that they should have 5+ years of experience. So if somebody is uploading their resume and they lack any of these required skills, so then ATS will rate them or score them accordingly. So it's very important whenever you are applying for a job. So my suggestion would be to read the job description carefully and see what they're actually looking for. And if you have to make some change to your resume, go for it and make some change and update your resume, and then upload your resume so that you are getting a better score on their ATS. So yeah, I think that's something I wanted to share.
Excellent, great. I think you have covered all the aspects, but still, I would request Mahnoor if she would like to add more points on this question. This
Okay.
before we move to our next question. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
yeah. Thank you so much, Ali Akatsab. I would like to add, like, there are some resumes that I have seen so far. They lack like job, like the task responsibilities and their work experience, right? So I would recommend job seekers to add the responsibilities they are having in their companies, or they can search the job description of their respective position and then they can add them as a responsibilities, and so they that can increase their ATS score, as well as they can have a high they can get be notified by the other recruiters, right? Because ATS is like a game, and it's like they have some keywords in their system, and they if your resume is matching those keywords, so your CV would be getting notified to them, because they are going to have a millions or thousands of resumes at one time. So I think that should be one point. And yes, the professional summary should be more catchy with your skills and experience, or some good achievements, having facts and figures as well. So that would help them to be different from other candidates. Okay, so if we move towards it is going to be linked with this the first question, I think. So do you think that employers should go towards automated interview scoring to give a fair chance to every candidate? Yeah, I do think that, because automated interview system is more like they are going to have a set questions according to the job specification, and they will ask you through video or through IQ test or through different they have some behavioral test or psychological test in their system, so they are going to judge your skills accordingly. So I think that would be the fair chance to every candidate, rather than going on a reference basis, or going to be biased according to the race or ethnicity. They are going to be selecting the candidate according to the test or according to the skills they are showing in their test. So I think yes, if Shahid wants to add something more into it, so that would be good.
Absolutely. So yeah, I agree with Manur. So yeah, you covered most of it. So automated interview. So this is something that can reduce the chance of biasness, and
Exactly.
obviously will help both employers to find the right candidate, and also will help the job seekers to find the right opportunity. So this will
Right.
definitely save time and save costs. So it would be a great option for companies to go for.
Right, excellent, excellent. And then moving on, if we go to our next question, that normally used to meet many job seekers, and even I used to receive many CVs also. They just apply and they say suitable for any position.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like something we used to tell them that you have to be specific at least, that but still there are some job seekers who are in a kind of desperate situation, and
Exactly.
plus they are just applying on any job whichever they find. So from your opinion, what do you think, that while they are looking for job, is it okay that they should apply for whatever job they come across, or they have to be, you can say, more specific or more choosy, or go into more detail first and then go apply? What do you think?
Absolutely. So thank you for that. So I, as a recruiter, think that because I face it, I have experienced this thing a lot. If I am posting a position on LinkedIn or any job board that we are using, so I have seen a lot of candidates there who are applying, but they are not the right fit for the position. So
Right.
what if we think from job seekers' perspective? If they are applying for a position, and then they might be keeping track of that thing somewhere. So if they're applying for a position, like they're applying for 10 positions a week, so they're keeping a track that, hey, this week I applied for 10 positions. So then it will, like, for a month it will go around 40 positions that they're applying for. And then if they calculate the response that they are getting from recruiters or employers, so they will know if they are randomly applying for all the positions that they're coming across. So how this can be like, sometimes this can be frustrating for job seekers, because if I'm a job seeker, I'm looking for a new opportunity, and I'm searching on LinkedIn or on other portals that we have. I think for Gulf we have Naukri.com, something like that.
Yes.
So right, Naukri Gulf. So we have Monster, Dice, and other tools that we are using. So if I'm looking for an opportunity, so my responsibility as a job seeker to avoid the later frustration, what I can do is I can be more specific, as Liaquat said. So I can be more specific. I can see like, hey, is this job something I can do, or do I have the capabilities that I can bring them on the table and can work in this role. So that would definitely help job seekers to reduce that level of frustration that they might face laterwards. Because if they are applying for 40 positions a month and then they're not getting any response from these companies, they might feel discouraged. So they might feel demotivated. So we have to be ready. So if we are looking for an opportunity, we have to stay strong. We have to be positive. At the same time, we have to look for specific opportunities that are relevant. For example, if I'm putting a position on LinkedIn and I need somebody from the United States, I've seen people applying outside US. And so that is sometimes getting like very critical. And so I have, what I do as a recruiter, I try to tell them that, hey, we need somebody from the United States. So if you are here, so let's talk and we can discuss this opportunity. But I have seen people from like Asia or other parts applying, even from Canada as well. So we need to see the location. So what I have experienced, if we talk about UAE, so people who are in other parts or outside UAE, they have been applying for the positions, but the recruiters or the like those who are posting these positions, they have clearly mentioned in the job description or in the post that we need somebody who is currently available here. So we need to think about that. So how we can improve, if we are finding a position that needs somebody, like that requires somebody from UAE, and we are looking for an opportunity in UAE. What we can do, we can build our network. We can get connect with them, with the recruiters or the hiring authorities there, and we can tell them that, hey, I have this skill set, I have this kind of experience, I think I can add value to your organization. So if they are interested, they will definitely uh, kind of sponsor something for me, or they can give me an opportunity to be there. So I think that would help. But coming to the question, if we are randomly applying for all the positions that we are coming across, that is going to build the frustration. And job seekers, you are definitely going to feel demotivated, because no one is going to get back to you, because if your resume is irrelevant and you're not meeting the required skills at least. So that is definitely something that you should like take a note of, and you should apply for the positions that are relevant. At least you should be location specific. And so if you're meeting some of the skills, that's good. If you are still applying, so sometimes hiring managers or like the recruiting authorities, sometimes they face an issue while finding the perfect candidate. But if you are the right candidate and you meet around 70 to 80% of the skill set or the requirements, and you are located in that particular location, then go for it. But if you are not located in that area and they have clearly mentioned that we need somebody from this location only, so then I would request not to apply for that position. So be specific. Look for those recruiters who can definitely help you to be there where you want. So I think that would definitely help.
Okay, I do
Right.
second with you in this matter. Like I would never suggest anyone to apply randomly on all the job positions, because I agree with Shahid. Like whenever I post a job on LinkedIn or somewhere, so people are sending their resume from different position rather than I am getting the relevant resumes. I am getting so many resumes which is non-relevant to that position. So yeah, I do second with everything that you said, Shahid. So if you move towards the other question that
Yeah.
is about
Yeah.
like
So that the next question basically is about the feedback process. So it's a two-way, that
exactly.
either job seekers should ask recruiters for the feedback, or recruiters should reply for a feedback. I know it is very from job seeker side, okay, but from recruiter side, it is quite busy schedule and very very tight things.
They
But
are just going to send you the automated message like, "Thank you for applying, and we regretfully inform you that you are not selected for this position." I have seen so many emails coming towards me whenever I apply, and I am getting the automated email. So I think they should tell, like, the feedback is like the two-way communication, right? If you are getting the feedback, you are going to improve yourself. You are going to see like what is lacking in me, and how am I going to improve in my next job or next interview process. So I think if like the job seeker should definitely ask for a follow up, or send them the email, or call them like, hey, I did give you the interview, and what's a follow up on that. So that would help them. But still, I think the recruiters are not giving the proper feedback on this. Like, they just say like, you were not fit for this position, or they are just giving you this kind of statements, right? So I think for the hiring manager, they should have a thorough they usually have the thorough response form. Like, whenever I take the interviews, I have the like proper response form in which I am writing like this these are the strength of this candidate, and these are the weaknesses, and why we are not hiring this candidate, right? So I think every recruiter should have that form, or should have that interview sheet with them. So it would be no harm that if they going to if they would share with the job seeker also. So that will benefit the job seeker, I think.
Yeah, definitely, Manu. I agree what you said. And so, as you mentioned, it's a two-way process. So, I think if I, as a recruiter, I'm talking to somebody for any position, and I
Mhm.
feel that they are someone we are looking for, and they meet some, not all the requirements, but most of the requirements that they have, or the skill set that they
Mhm.
have. So, I think if I, as a recruiter, if I'm sending that resume to my hiring manager, and so I owe that feedback to that candidate. So it's my
Exactly.
responsibility to keep a track, to keep a note of that, that hey, I talked with John, for example, for the
Mhm.
software developer position. And John is something like someone I talked with, and we agreed, and he confirmed all the things that we needed for the position. And now I have forwarded his resume to the hiring manager, and they are going to interview him. So it's my responsibility to talk to the hiring manager, get the feedback for that particular candidate. So if the candidate is getting selected, or if they want to have an like second round of interview with the end client, with the government, so I should inform the candidate about that too. Because candidates are looking for multiple opportunities. They're not going to apply for my role, the position that I have posted or our company has posted. No, whenever they see a position that is relevant, so a good candidate who is screening the positions and trying to be specific, they will apply for those positions. And the company who is providing them the feedback and who is trying to keep them warm throughout the process, so I think candidate would prefer to go with that company. So if I talked about John as an example, so I submitted him to the hiring manager. It's my responsibility to get the interview from the hiring manager. Hey, we submitted John last week, so what do you think? Do I need to update him? What's going on? Are we moving forward with him? Or if he lacks something like that you feel after the interview, so it's my responsibility to share the feedback with that candidate I have talked to. And at the same time, as Liaquat mentioned, that we are recruiters are very busy. That doesn't mean that we won't follow the process. We have to follow the process. At the end, we are humans. And we greatly, like, we feel appreciated if somebody, if I'm applying for a position, and Mr. Liaquat is getting back to me that, hey, Shahid, you have applied for a position, and I don't think that right now this is something we are looking for. So we'll definitely keep you posted if anything relevant comes up. So I would feel appreciated because I need to improve on. I will keep a track of what's going on with me, and I will keep I will look at my resume and see if there is a need that I can improve on, if I need to like update my resume, if I need to get some more skills, and I will train myself. And accordingly, if I'm applying for the position next time, so there's a high chance that I'll be selected for the position. So coming to the feedback point, So yeah, if I am submitting a candidate, it's my responsibility to provide them the feedback. And if by case I'm busy, I'm working on multiple positions, and I have to keep hiring managers happy at the same time. So I would request job seekers or the candidates who are like contacting me, or any recruiter. So please reach out to them and ask like, hey, I submitted my application, I shared my resume with you. So what's going on? Any update there? So I think recruiters will definitely help, and this will become a two-way process. And at the same time, when recruiters ask hiring managers what's the update on that particular candidate, I think that is definitely going to help.
Yeah, excellent. But here I would like to add one more question also, that
Mm-hmm.
while candidate are asking for feedback, what should be the frequency or time gap? For example, we there is another thing also that we used to advise our job seekers, that if they are coming after interview, they should send a kind of thank you note to the interviewer.
Right.
And but what do you propose, that this thank you letter should be immediately after the interview or after some gap, and then this feedback process or follow up process, it should be some, because sometimes the job seekers is more irritating. So, and sometimes the process in the company is slow, mostly when we talk about the government organizations or large
Right.
organizations, or sometimes policies of companies are revising, so things get slow, or in the beginning it looks that they are going for very quick hiring, they need it urgent, but later on it becomes slow or sometimes even
Exactly.
cancelled also. And the candidate who is looking for job, he is so desperate, he's sending kind of daily reminder kind of thing. So the,
Exactly.
the frequency and time gap, what do you suggest?
So I think it will differ. It's a case to case scenario basis. For example, if we are hiring for a position where the pool is large, so at that time it will take some time to screen the candidates, because we everybody would like to get the best fit. We call that
Right.
best athlete. So everybody will try to do that. So it would definitely vary from like scenario to scenario. If the candidate pool is small and we have screened all the candidates, and we are not getting feedback from either the hiring manager or from the government or the end client. So at that time, what we can do as a recruiter, or job seekers can reach out, what we can do as a recruiter is we can update them that, hey, we talked a couple of weeks ago about this opportunity, and we have still not heard anything back from the government. If we talk about the US right now, holiday season is prevailing, so we're very close to Christmas and New Year. So right now, government officials or the hiring managers, they are on holidays, so they are away. They are not checking their emails. We're not getting any approvals right now. So in this case right now, it will take some time to get the feedback for the candidates. But if we talk about the new year, or when everything is normal, at that time, I think we should try our best to provide the feedback as soon as possible, because we are not wasting their time, and they have a lot of expectations with us. And they are like, sometimes they might be thinking that we are the right candidates who have been shortlisted or selected. So I think it will vary. And where the pool is small, we can get back to the candidates ASAP. But where the pool is large, it will definitely take time. But as a recruiter, what we can do, we can send them follow-up emails that, hey, we talked a couple of weeks ago, and we're still waiting to hear back, or the hiring is still going on, or the screening is still going on. So as long as we are done, so we'll definitely keep you posted about the status of your application. So that way, candidates will feel warm, and they will definitely appreciate that.
Right, right. So it means that if we just try to give on a journal on an average basis, if somebody is following up at least after 3 days, it's quite a
Yeah.
reasonable time.
Yeah.
On a,
3 days or a week or a week.
or a week is a reasonable
Yeah.
time. Okay, okay. Now we will move on to something which is you can say the basis of LinkedIn. Somebody created LinkedIn on the thought process that everybody is connected. If you have seen the old LinkedIn, it was basically showing the that every person in the world is somehow connected. It's a called seventh degree connections theory, that
Mhm.
anybody in the world is somehow connected with each other, or maximum on seventh degree. I mean, if we go from we used to say that there are minimum 150 connections in your first circle, right? So
Mhm.
anybody who does not have 150 contacts in his mobile, he need to see the doctor, because he's not a normal person. So that's the 150 is minimum number in your first circle. And when we expand that circle to next level, so it becomes multiply 150 into 150.
300.
So, but when we go to third level, so friends of friends of friends, and we multiply this 100 250 into another 250. When we keep it multiplying, when we reach on seventh degree, the world population is over. So that's the theory which says everybody is connected. And
Okay.
in the beginning, LinkedIn was showing basically something like that you are somehow connected with somebody on till seventh degree. But I think later on they just stopped this because their algorithm was getting crashed. So from job seekers point of view, this network, or people say your network is your net worth. From
Mhm.
job seekers point of view, uh, this networking, how it can play the role in getting the right opportunity. What's your point of view? I would like to hear from both of you. So maybe Mohammed Shahid first.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So LinkedIn is one of the powerful tools that like we as recruiters and job seekers, employers, hiring managers, or the authorities are using nowadays. So if we talk about some job boards, so LinkedIn is powered by Microsoft, and it is considered one of the powerful tools nowadays because we are getting like every day millions of people are adding their profile, opening an account, signing in, and creating an account on LinkedIn. So, uh, if we talk about networking here, so I will go to that later. But here, for job seekers or for all of us who are using LinkedIn, so I had some do's and don'ts for networking, and so how to network with recruiters on LinkedIn. So as I said earlier, that recruiters are very busy and they had to do day-to-day recruiting business, sourcing talent, screening candidates, and at the same time we have to keep the hiring managers happy. So I have seen sometimes people asking some questions like these questions come from job seekers. I can show some empathy. I can understand that what they are going through, and sometimes they're going through some difficult times. So, but there are some questions like, "Hey, can you help me find a job?" Or "Can you take a look at my resume?" Or "Do you have any advice for me?" So this is something a recruiter won't be able to do like considering the volume of work they have on day-to-day basis. So what a job seeker can do is they can update their LinkedIn profile in a way so that they are connecting with the right professionals, right people at the right time. So I would like to share some quick point on how to update your profile on LinkedIn. So we need to pay some special attention to the following sections that I'll be talking about. And the first is your profile photo. So it should be a professional or a headshot, as they say. So a smile on your face would definitely add value to it. And this is one section that is very important. While if somebody is setting up their profile on LinkedIn, so LinkedIn will automatically show you that, hey, you have not added a profile photo yet. So then goes
Mhm.
to your background photo. So rather than using that LinkedIn gray default image, so I would suggest upload a background photo that speaks to you and your career goals, what exactly you want to do or you are doing currently. So I think that would definitely help. And the third thing is headline. So use a professional title that clearly mentions the type of work you do or you have been doing or currently you are looking for. So mention that thing in your headline, because when recruiters or hiring managers are conducting search on LinkedIn, when they run a search on search bar, so they add some keywords there. And if
Mm-hmm.
you are mentioning some skills or some keywords that are related to what they're looking for, so your profile will be there. So they will be looking at your profile. So headline is another important section that we need to take care of. And then is we'll find an about section on LinkedIn, and about section is very critical. So we'll what we do in this section usually, we write a summary about ourselves. So who we are, what's our mission, and what motivates me, and what I have done so far in my career, or what I am planning to do. So about section is about me, who I am, and what I am doing, or what I am planning to do. Then there are other sections like experience. If I have worked with previously, like with any company, I should definitely add that to my profile. And then skills are something that I should also add, that are relevant, that I possess actually. And then when it comes to networking with recruiters, so I would say do connect with the right recruiters. For example, if somebody is looking for an opportunity in healthcare or medical domain, and they are connecting with IT recruiters, so that is not something that can add value, or that is not something that can result in something positive. So if you want to get a job as a healthcare professional, and you need to look for the recruiters who are hiring in that domain, and who are even healthcare recruiters or medical recruiters. So if you are connecting with them, so definitely that would help you to be there where you want to be. So that will help you to find the right opportunity. So I have seen people reaching out to like me sometimes on LinkedIn that, hey, I am a healthcare professional looking for an opportunity. So I clearly mentioned that, hey, I recruit people from IT or operations. So if you have something like in that, I can definitely help you. But at the same time, what we do as a recruiter or a LinkedIn professional, I use like my network, and I refer some um, I give some references to them so that they can reach out to those people and see if they can help. So it's very important to connect with the right recruiters. So for that purpose, we have LinkedIn search bar available. So we greatly appreciate LinkedIn helping people to get job. Also for job seekers, I would say like use open to work banner. So this is something that is giving a green signal to recruiters that, hey, I'm reaching out to a right candidate who is currently available looking for a job. I know we can't like forget the importance of passive recruiting, but yeah, adding open to work banner will definitely help to job seekers. So please don't send any unsolicited resume or something that is not relevant. I have even asked seen people asking these open-ended questions, or vague questions like, does your company have a job for me, or can you tell me more about
Mm-hmm.
this position? So it's like it's not something a recruiter will always do, or it's not their job actually. So if you are applying, go to their website and look at the positions that are relevant to you, apply, and then you can ask them that, hey, I have applied for this position, do you have any like feedback, or have you received any information on that? So that would definitely help. And don't be intentional when you send a message. So I think let's be professional using LinkedIn, and don't make recruiter work harder than you. So I have seen like job seekers, sometimes their resume is not up to date. They need to do a lot of stuff on their profile when it comes to LinkedIn. So please follow these things that I talked about while updating your LinkedIn profile. Connect with the right recruiters, and I think recruiters would love to help you to get the right opportunity. So I think this is something I wanted to add here. So over to you, Manu.
Okay, so I totally agree with you, Shahid, and I want to add like LinkedIn is also our resume, and it is showcasing ourselves to the recruiters, to the other parts of the world. So I think building a network on LinkedIn is very much going to impact on your opportunities, right? So if you have a good network, if you have so many followers, like relevant followers, if you are like as you mentioned, try to add those who are relevant to the your field, right? So try to add like people that are going to benefit you in the future. So I think yes, LinkedIn is totally amazing. work on, or people are nowadays getting so many opportunities on LinkedIn, like so many opportunities, and just because of their good profile. And I would like to add one thing more, like we have just like as a resume ATS score, we have the LinkedIn ATS score as well. So people should check their LinkedIn ATS score also, because that would help them to optimize their LinkedIn profile, and they can be notified by the recruiters or the relevant employers in the world.
Great, great. I heard this LinkedIn ATS for the first time. So
If you
it's
are
also
going to use resumeworded.com, so there you can check the your resume ATS score as well as your LinkedIn profile score as well.
right. And here I have two more questions, also actually specifically related to LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because in case of resume, I understand there are two groups. One group say there should be a picture, and one group say there should be no picture.
Yeah.
But what about LinkedIn profile? I have seen many LinkedIn profile also without picture. So what is the impression of LinkedIn profile without picture? And my second question is the number of connections on an average. If I am a job seeker, what should be my target? How many connections should be satisfactory for me? Like if I am looking for a network, how big network or how relevant network is satisfactory or reasonable for me? So
Okay.
both, if you can answer both before we go to this hiring process steps.
Okay, so without a photo, I think I would assume like the profile is fake, or like how can you tell about yourself without your face, right? So there should be profile picture as mentioned by Shahid, and there should be the professional pictures. I have seen people having their display picture as their selfies, or I don't know, like the candid pictures they are posting on LinkedIn. So I don't think so. That would be more professional. As
Yes.
we talk about the connections, so I think the more you are getting connected on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has a limited as it has a limit to add connections at one time. I think like 300 or 300 plus, they have like the limit to add the connections, otherwise your account will be temporarily
30,000.
blocked.
It's 30,000
No,
connections is the
30,000,
limit.
like, no, that 30,000 is like you are going to add them in your followers, right? If you are
Right.
sending request to anyone, so it is like 300 or 350 plus people you can send the request to on LinkedIn. Otherwise, they
One,
block your account.
one time,
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
yeah, at one
Right.
time.
And moreover, it also depends on the receive. If your most of the connection requests are being rejected, then also it is impacting on your count. But on average, if you are a beginner job seeker, you should try that you can at least send 50 requests per day, and then
750.
manage as per the status. So
Exactly. And try
your
to
job
get
is
connected with other recruiters also. Like there are so many people, not from Karachi or Pakistan, but from Middle East or from different parts of the world, who are connected with me. Like I don't know them, and I'm not, and they don't know me. But they are just commenting on my post, or I am just commenting on their post. So this build your network, I guess, and this will help you in getting more opportunities. So try to comment on other people posts, like some of the big profiles are there on LinkedIn. So try to comment there, give your remarks, give your thoughts, because there is one good thing on LinkedIn, that they show the activity section also. So if a job recruiter is going to check your activity on LinkedIn, so they should see like you are giving some good opinions on some other profiles. So that matters a lot.
So, adding to
right.
that, I would say if we talk about somebody who is new, who has created an account on LinkedIn recently. So, I remember when I created my account in 2013 on LinkedIn. So, There were
Mm-hmm.
some people who supported me at that time, like, hey, they told me, like, let's do this thing that way, and this will help you. So if we want to make our profile all star, so 5-star rating you will get while completing that thing. So your profile will be
Exactly.
updated successfully. And talking about that all star
Right.
rating, so there are some important things that LinkedIn is giving an indication that first our profile picture should be there. So if there are profiles where there is no profile picture, so their profile is incomplete. So they need to upload a
Exactly.
profile picture. If somebody is not comfortable in sharing their personal professional picture, so I don't know what to do that. So, but they can add something like from their, like what they are doing, maybe from talent acquisition or something that some quotation or like
Mm-hmm.
that. But it's highly recommended to get a professional headshot from a professional photographer and add that to your LinkedIn profile. Then that completes one section. And if we talk about the number of connections that a job seeker should have initially, I would suggest, and LinkedIn is also suggesting them to like go 500 plus. So if we are getting
Right.
500 plus connections first, then our profile is all star, and then we'll get more views. And it's not only connecting with people, it's also about engaging with them, as Mahnoor said, like reacting to their posts, adding a comment. So if Mahnoor is sharing something or Mr. Liaquat is sharing something related to hiring process, modern hiring process on LinkedIn, if I have a thought, if I have an experience to share, I should put a comment there that, hey, this is what I have experienced so far. So 500 plus and adding a professional headshot, these are two important aspects or the sections that LinkedIn is talking about. So we all should go for it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
and I would like to add one more thing also related to the professional picture. I have seen some funny kind of pictures also, and even sometime some group photos also on as a LinkedIn profile. So you don't know who which person is which person.
Exactly.
So I have one tip for the job seekers that what should how your picture look like. You can go to Google and search executive headshot, so you will get some samples, and then you can try to copy any of them. So most of these executive headshot or normally the pictures in the company magazine for CEO and others, higher authorities, the way they pose or the way they have the smile. Some people they don't have smile on the face, huh, in the LinkedIn photo. So that also should be, I think, an add up point.
Right.
And before we move to the question for the hiring process to eliminate, we have one comment from Wasim Raja. Awesome
Oh,
tips shared by Mohammad Shahid and Miss
oh.
Thank
Mano.
you,
Thank
Wasim.
Thank
you.
you, Wasim. Thank you,
Thank you.
Wasim.
Thank you, Wasim. So we will be moving on to our question. So Mahnoor, what do you think that there are unnecessary steps in the hiring
Uh,
process? It's
I
kind
have
of
seen I have seen in some companies they have like 4 to 5 interviews first, like the initial interviews first. Like you are going to have the interview with the HR recruiter, and then with the HR manager, and then with the department of head of department, and then with the CEO. So these are the unnecessary steps. There should be only one interview, one initial interview. You are going to judge the person through one interview, like I think, and then you should have the like the final interview. Okay, so if we talk about like if they have the technical position, so they can go for the test also. But I don't think so more than more than two interviews should be taken by the recruiters. That would like create a very frustrated environment between the candidate as well as the recruiter. They are going to ask the same question. What else they are going to ask, right? They are going to ask the same, like, your experience, your skills, your job responsibilities. There's nothing else that they can ask. So I think the first the initial interview, and then the final interview. And I would suggest recruiters or the employers to go for the first interview as a Zoom interview, because I think like there is no use of asking people to come at the office and then give the interviews. I think the Zoom interview would be good first, and then they go, if they are selected, then they go for the final on-site interview. So yes, there should be
Yeah.
no extra interview test or interview process. What about you? Like,
Right.
what do you think, Shahid?
Yeah, I agree with you. So if companies or hiring managers are complaining that we are not getting the right candidates, so they need to look into the process that they are following.
Exactly. That
If
would have a
they're
huge impact on their HR budget. Like they have the particular HR budget. So if they're going to do like several interviews for one position, so I don't think so that would have some good impact on their company's growth.
right. So we as a recruiter sometimes face a challenge of keeping the candidates warm as we like it takes time to get the feedback from the hiring authorities, be it hiring manager or the end client, be it government. So as I said, like if people want to make their hiring process successful, so look into it first. If there are any unnecessary steps that you can eliminate so that the process will become effective and robust, and there is a need to streamline the process nowadays because
Right.
on LinkedIn we have experienced like candidates talking about there are 5 to 7 interview rounds for a particular position. So how come a company is going to get the right talent? Because if I am a person who is applying for a position and I have been interviewed for the first, now they are like telling me to wait for some time for some weeks, then they want me to come again and have an interview, then they're taking much time. I sometimes feel it's more than a month or two. So I don't think any candidate would like to stay in the process.
And
So
after that, they're
another,
going to reject you.
right, they're wasting time, not
Exactly.
of the candidate only, but if we talk
They're
about
wasting their time
hiring.
also.
Right. In hiring, time matters a lot. So, time is very important. If we talk about recruiters' time, job seekers' time, it's very important. So, we can utilize this time to build a long term relationship so that we can add value, not necessarily in present, but we can add value in the future as well. So, I would also suggest nowadays experts are talking about if we want to make our process to be effective. So, the CEO of the company, they should apply for any position as a job seeker so that they can get a better understanding like how their process looks like. So if there are loopholes in the process, if they feel there are bottlenecks in the process, so they should create a fake resume in that case and apply for any position and then go through the steps that they are following to make their process successful, because this will give them an idea, and this will be something, a practical exercise for the CEO of the company or somebody who is
Right.
heading the hiring department. So go through it, feel the pain, and then like they would get some empathy. Like, hey, how job seekers would be like feeling while going through this hectic process. So as you Manur, I agree. As you mentioned, nowadays people look for flexibility. So if you want to interview somebody, send them a link on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. So yeah, have them have a virtual conversation with them, and then if there is a need, so you can have an in-person like meeting as well. So let's ensure that we are not using these unnecessary steps in the process. Let's ensure we are making our process robust. We are streamlining the process, and at the same time, we're sometimes doing something that we become a part of this hiring process. As I mentioned, this is not my opinion, this is what experts are saying on LinkedIn. They are recommending, I have seen on LinkedIn, that CEO should apply for any particular position of his own company, and then he will or she will get to know what exactly is going on, if there is
Exactly.
lack of transparency or if there is any biasness. So then they can get an idea and they can improve the process, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. Mystery job seeker. Huh? There is something called mystery
Mystery
shopping.
shoppers, mystery
Mystery
shoppers,
shoppers, because
marketing.
these people go for quality check, but they are
Exactly.
like third party and
Right.
they go as a mystery shopper and then they submit the survey to their companies. But they are not actually shopping but going as a shopper. Yeah. So mystery job seeker is a special idea. And now in between, Manur was talking about that to save the time, we should go for with the technology. So Zoom is there, and other online interview options are there. And in between, I think we can discuss about video CV also, because
Yeah,
the
video
video CV
interview.
is also an old phenomenon. Now it's more than 4 or 5 years. It's there, but still we don't see job seekers more responding to if we say ask them for a video CV. They feel it shy. And plus, if you can add few more tips about the Zoom interview also, because from job seeker side who have never faced camera, sometime they are feeling troubles, or they have not rehearsal, or sometime they are not properly prepared, or what other points do you think that they need to consider if they are going for a Zoom interview, or any other software online interview?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. So,
Mhm.
yep. So you have
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
to
go
add?
ahead.
Sure.
No,
So if
you
we
can
talk
go ahead.
about,
Then
sure, Banu. So I think the pandemic or the COVID time, actually, I think everybody is now familiar how to use technology, be it for meetings. If somebody was employed, they know how to use these tools. And if somebody was a job seeker, they know how to use it as like for an interview. So some tips for like it's for all of us. If we are having a meeting or any interview, so it's better to stay away from the crowd. So make sure that our internet is working and there is electricity or backup is there, and make sure we have enough light if we are turning on our camera. So it's professional. It's considered professional to turn on our camera and have that one-on-one chat like via technology, or like Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Meet or any other platforms that we are using. So I don't think there is anybody in the current scenario. We are in the post-pandemic era, um, um, time. I don't think there is anybody who doesn't know how to use the technology for either meetings or for interviews. But there are some tips and tricks that experts are talking about that ensure your internet is working, or ensure there is electricity or backup is there. Ensure you are not staying with your family, because that will definitely create some frustration or there will be noise. Make sure there is no background noise. Make sure you are they're in the meeting a couple of minutes ahead, so you're not getting late. And so there are some other tips and tricks that we can like definitely consider, and that would definitely help us. So yeah, over to you, Manu.
Okay, yeah, I do agree with you, and yeah, pandemic time has even make everyone like the familiar to the video chatting or Zoom meetings, because there was a time when we had our online or remote work from home strategies, and if you were the student, so you were having the online classes, so you had to like open your camera for presentations or for classes. So now I don't think so, like no one is like unfamiliar with this process. Yeah, I believe like I was too shy in the beginning, like I was shy to open my camera, but now as time goes by, and now I am very familiar to the Zoom meeting, because as I'm working with the international firm, so we have meetings over Zoom or Microsoft Team. So yes, good electricity, good Wi-Fi connections matters a lot for a good Zoom meeting.
Right. We have one question from Wasim Raja. How can candidate tailor his LinkedIn profile if having experience in different positions? Now, this is kind of a tricky, or you can say uh, tough situation questions. Especially, I have seen some candidates who are into admin and HR and receptionist, and especially this, or sometimes they are changing positions from beginning of careers, and it goes ups and downs. So what do you think that in this scenario, what is the way forward? Even resume also becomes difficult to manage, that what to put and what to delete. uh, Although I used to suggest, I don't know it's right or wrong from your opinion or not, but what I used to suggest, is make three different CV and then
Exactly, that's the
match
right
match
way.
it with the position.
Right,
But
right.
CV, okay, we can manage, but LinkedIn profile is one only. So how how to tackle this scenario? What do you think?
Okay, so I think like if you have like two of the experience in the sales field and one of the experience is the admin field, right? So you can add your admin experience as the other experience section or the other work experience section in the on LinkedIn. I can understand that like if I talk about myself, so I have like the academic writing experience, content writing experience, a part of like HR experience. So I keep my academic writing or HR writing as the other curricular activities or the other work experience section. I think LinkedIn has this section of other experience, other work, or if you have like worked somewhere I think volunteer work, I think so they can add over there. But yeah, what matters to the recruiter most, like they are going to see like how many years of experience you have more in that of that position. Like you have 3 years of experience in sales and 1 year experience of admin, and if it is a sales experience, if it's a sales position, so they would consider you as per your experience. So I don't think so that would matter anything like anything less for the recruiters. What do you think, Shahid?
Right, right. So moving
Yeah.
on to our next question. Uh, how can recruiter and hiring managers work together to accomplish the desired goals? So I
Mhm.
think first we can define what is the actual goal, and then how they can work together. So and for job seekers and other people who are not aware much, if you can just explain the difference between recruiters and hiring managers also.
Right. So, first answering, like adding something to what Manu answered to Wasim Raja's point. So, if somebody is having experience in multiple domains, so we sometimes call them all-rounders because they were doing multiple work, and they were having a different perspective, different domain knowledge. So that is a plus point in some cases. So, but for a position that you are applying for, as you rightly mentioned, the years of experience that you have with that particular domain or area, that is something the recruiters or the hiring managers would be interested in. But don't hesitate to add the experience that you have, be it in different domain. So keep your LinkedIn profile up to date. And so I would suggest, if you are working as a recruiter but previously you were working in sales, so add that sales experience to your profile as
Exactly.
well, because that would definitely add value to it. So don't feel shy in that, or don't think that let's skip this. No, you have worked there, you have experienced something, you have got those skill set, and you're a professional there. So I think you should go for it. Add there that experience in the professional or the experience section. So that is something that can add value sometimes. So talking about the how recruiters and hiring managers can work together to accomplish their desired goal. So as Mr. Liaquat tried to know what their goal is exactly. So the goal is to find the right people at the right time, at the right cost. So this is exactly what everybody is looking for. If we talk about the companies who are hiring, or hiring managers who have been assigned this task. So who is a hiring manager actually? So if we talk about Microsoft is hiring for some positions, so the Microsoft is the company here who need people, who need employees or professionals from different backgrounds. So they give this responsibility to some of their employees who are currently working with them in that particular domain. If we talk about talent acquisition, HR, or recruiting, so some of their employee who is an expert there, who has been working in that domain for a long now, and they can assign this responsibility to that person, and that person can work with Microsoft as a hiring manager, for an example. So that person will be considered as hiring manager, because that person is having experience, understanding, and the knowledge about that particular role. So if we talk
Right.
about the hiring process, so the process starts with identifying the need. So if whenever any position is open, So there's a background behind it. So companies nowadays, if they're looking for someone, or there is a company where there is no HR department, and they have only like recruiting or talent acquisition department, and recruiters have to do, they have to offer, like they have to get the offer letter signed, they have to schedule the interviews, or they have to do the documentation work, and at the same time they are doing the recruiting stuff. So if a company feels that there is a need for an HR, so first they will identify a need that, hey, we need somebody who can do the HR task, because we already have recruiters, we don't want our recruiters to work as HR as well as recruiters. So first they have identified that need, what they are looking for, and why there is a need, why they are looking for that professional or that candidate. And then they devise strategies, they formulate plans, they create a job description. So if we talk about job description, we need somebody who is an expert, and hiring managers' role comes into play. So hiring managers, they can tell us like what exactly we need from HR. Somebody who can work as an HR, what responsibilities they will have, and what would be their required skills, their education or qualifications. So somebody who is an expert and who has experience, so we call that person hiring manager, who is associated with hiring people. And job description formulation is something that is very critical. And I would request all the companies and hiring authorities here, please make sure that your expectations are realistic, because nowadays we have seen a trend on LinkedIn, companies looking for an entry level person with 10 plus years of experience. How come that is possible? So we need to think about it, and make sure our expectations are realistic. And if we're looking for an entry level, that means they may or may not have any experience, because we're looking for someone who is a college pass out, or someone who has recently graduated and now working as an intern or looking for work. So they can be considered entry level. But if you are
Right.
putting that we need someone entry level software developer with 10 plus years of experience, so how come that will work?
With
So
minimum salary.
so um, I think the hiring manager part is clear. Somebody who is having the domain knowledge, somebody who's having the experience, somebody who is a decision maker sometimes, and company has given them a responsibility to take all the decisions related to hiring for a particular position. So that person is called hiring manager, and recruiters have to work with them, work closely with the hiring manager, try to make them happy, and do whatever they can do to make them happy. And recruiters' task is to search for the talent once they get the job description, as we were talking about the hiring process. So once the hiring manager or the company, they sit together and they talk about, hey, what exactly we need, what are we looking for. So they put some points there, and then they share that information, or sometimes they advertise that position. So when recruiters get the job description, they start working, and they actually source talent first, they look for the talent, and they use different methodologies for that, different tools. LinkedIn is one of the tools that they use to get these profiles or resumes or candidate information. Then they screen those profiles, then they contact them, then they have a conversation with them, then they try to see their interests, and then they submit those candidates to the hiring manager. And then hiring managers, they will set up interviews, and they will forward those profiles to the customer or the end client, whosoever it is, be it government or in our case it's Microsoft, because the hiring manager is from the same company. So when they are sending the right candidates who are meeting all the calls and the required skills to the customer or the company, so they will obviously select somebody, and then their goal is fulfilled, the position will be filled. So the HR will help, recruiter will coordinate with HR in onboarding, getting the documents signed, and creating offer letter and getting that signed, and then the candidate will actually start. So the goal is to fill the position at the right time, at the right cost, and so person should be right. So we want somebody who is right fit for a particular position, the best fit for a particular position, and we want somebody at the right time. If we need somebody in December and we have a goal to fill that position in the month of December, so that will be the time that we need somebody who is a software developer and who is available in the month of December, because we want to fill that position ASAP in this month. So the time would be December, the person would be the software developer, and when the position gets filled, so the goal gets accomplished. So then recruiter, he or she, they don't have to work on that position again unless the candidate backs out or there is like a backfilled position. So I think the goal is to fill the position at the right time, at the right cost. And hiring manager, I try to make it clear like who they are. And recruiter is somebody who is actually working for the hiring manager, working closely with them sometimes, and sometimes they are not aware who the hiring manager is. So this is how the process goes. So would you like to add something?
Yeah, I would like to add a quote over here. So I think there's a quote like patience, consistency, and communication is a best is a key to success. So I think hiring managers should have patience in their themselves, and recruiters should be consistent to find a good talent from the market, and a better communication between them two to accomplish the desired goal. So I would like yeah, that's it. What's the question? Yeah.
Right. So we have one kind of, you can say, another complicated questions that how can a recruiter trace candidate profile whether information is correct or fake? And another question also, what do you suggest if a person is working as a finance manager but applying for accountant position? I mean, uh, almost same field but difficult. And regarding to fake,
Difference of experience
although
over there.
yeah, when we talk about this fake thing, I used to advise candidates, especially with the low professionals. Although I would say ethically it is not correct, but the problem is every company is asking for experienced. So so when you are fresh in the field, it becomes very difficult to come up. So we used to suggest that
Right.
okay, you can write in your CV something, 10 or 20 or 30%, that okay, I know it. But if you don't know and then you are writing it, then it is not acceptable. Or at least you write something which you can defend in the interview, because if you write something wrong in the CV and then in the interview you get caught, it becomes embarrassing. But the
Right. So I
question
would
from
like to
Vaseem,
add, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the question from Vaseem is that how recruiter can trace, I mean, while
So
on from the CV,
there is
if the
one
information is correct or not.
there is one option over here, like whenever if you are going to submit the form on LinkedIn or Indeed, so sometimes the recruiter have the questions in there like we are going to have a background check. So are you going to check it as yes or no? So I think the background check is okay, but sometime when you like most companies don't go for the background check, right? Unless and until you are presenting yourself as a very like the extraordinary person in the resume, and your interview was not up to the mark, so then the company would go for the background check. And the other was like, what do you suggest if a person is working as a finance manager but applying for accounting? So there is a difference of error, like the experience errors, and maybe they had in their mind like whether maybe in sometimes in a year or two or in few months they would have the finance manager position available. So maybe they would consider me. So I think that's why they are going to apply for the accountant position.
Right, right. So far we are going great. I think we have covered many aspects.
Yeah.
Now we are moving on to the last question of our session. Although
So I
we
would
have
like to add here. So I would like to
we
add here one thing. Sorry to interrupt you. So we talked about how to know like somebody is fake or real. So first thing, for those people who are adding fake experience or any information that is fake, that is not real, so that is going to definitely backfire them. So that it's not like we are sending a resume for a particular position with a company. this is going to be like our intention or our perspective should be that this is for long term relationship. If we are applying for a position and company feels that this person is not real, or they don't have the experience that is actually they have mentioned on their resume, so they will blacklist them and that person won't be able to apply for that position with the company again. So now the point is how we can get to know if the person has that experience or not. So for that purpose, what we do, if somebody is coming from Microsoft to Google, so they have mentioned on their resume that they were working with Microsoft. Now they want to work, they are applying for a position with Google. So it's now Google's responsibility to verify if that person was really working with Microsoft or not. So they can contact their hiring manager and or their supervisor. They can get their professional references. They can contact them and say like, hey, is Mr. X or Miss Z working with you from last 3 years or 5 years? They'll get to know if that person was really working with the company or not. So that is, I think, as one of the way that we as an employer can verify if the person has mentioned something that is fake. And we can do that. So I would request all the job seekers, please don't do that. That's going to backfire you, and you'll be blacklisted for like for that particular position from that
Exactly.
company. So let's
Any
increase the
guys
chance.
serving on it? Yeah, yeah. Go on.
Mhm.
Sorry. Sorry. You
So
can
let's
go ahead.
increase the chance of getting selected or getting interviews and making that impact, as we talked earlier. So how we can make an impact and stand out in the crowd. So we encourage you to work on your resume, to work on your skills, to work on the what they exactly need, not rather to add something that you have not done or something that you don't know. So that is definitely going to backfire you. And talking about the other things, sorry, Manur, I would like to add there, if somebody is working as a finance manager, they want to work as an accountant or accounting manager. So, finance and accounting, some people consider these two different things. But if we talk about like finance is the lifeblood of an organization and accounting is keeping track of everything, how much are we like getting, or sometimes how much are we spending. So, if a company feels that person has that idea or understanding, so definitely they can work. There is no harm. It's up to that company or the employer. So, and also about that candidate or the applicant who feels that they're confident enough and they know the in and out of that process, so they can definitely work. So I hope that's clear.
Yeah, but what I understood from Wasim question is that somebody is on a higher position. He has worked at higher position before, and he is applying for a lower position. So
Okay.
in that scenario, what is the situation? If he is doing the right thing, or how recruiter or hiring people will respond?
So I think if somebody is working as a manager position, or if we talk about recruiting manager or finance manager, and now they're working as financial analysts or kind of like an accounting or an accounting analyst or accountant, so it will definitely depend on multiple factors. For example, it will depend on if somebody is done with the finance manager role and they have left that company. Previously, they were working as finance manager. Now they are looking for an opportunity and they feel that the accountant position is something that they can like add on to their like professional journey, or something that they can learn about, or they can add to their resume or skill set. So if they feel like the company culture is of the type that a candidate feels that I should go for it, and also somebody is in need sometimes and they don't have any position available, so at that time they can go for it and they can explore and add that thing to their resume or their experience or their career. So there is no harm in working as like from senior to junior. It will definitely depend on multiple factors. It will we can get the understanding of that thing from the person who is actually doing that. So I think there shouldn't be any issue with that.
Okay, so I would like to add over here, like maybe there are two factors that why is he going to apply for a junior level position. Sometimes, like the salary that is mentioned, maybe he is not getting that much paid as a manager position as the other company is going to pay to that candidate on a junior level position. And sometimes the company matters, or maybe he's going to apply for the new in a new country or in a different location. So he is going to start from the scratch, right? So that's why he is going to apply for the junior level position to get into their market. So that would be two factors that why he is going to apply from manager to the junior level position. What do you say, Yakasab?
Right, right. I think so. There can be multiple scenarios. So there is not like a one answer to this situation. But you are
Right,
right. So it depends on multiple scenarios and his personal situation also.
right.
Uh, we have more questions also as per plan, and we had got because we are already exceeding or reaching almost to one more than 1.5 hour. So I would suggest it's better if we wind up our sessions at these points, and the remaining questions and other things we leave it for the next session. Here, Wasim is also saying thanks to
Thank you so much,
both
Mr.
of
Raja.
you for valuable position, and I would also like to appreciate
Thank you,
that
Wasim.
you spared your family time basically. I know, especially for Shahid also, and Mahnoor, you also. Normally, these weekend times or for families, and you spared this time and sitting continuously for this much hour for the that is also valuable. So I really I'm just thinking that how can I say thank you that can be can be a proper things, but
Thank
uh,
you for working really hard for conducting this kind of session. So I
Exactly.
I would like to add here, like for a recruiter. So even though we live with our family, for a recruiter, like helping somebody to get the right opportunity, like a job seeker, and helping employer to find the right person, uh, we that gives a lot of pleasure sometimes, and we feel very like blessed sometimes. So recruiters, job seekers, and hiring authorities, so they're also a part of our family, because like we are working in that domain, and we'll do whatever is possible and whatever we can do, and we'll create share the information that is available, and we'll try our best to help them. And I would also like to add for the people who are joining from UAE or Middle East, so Nawaf, if you have any queries, or you need any help, be it like from consultancy part, so get in touch with Mr. Liaquat Ali, who is running this company called NAVAFIZ. So that would definitely help you. So yeah, thank you again for having me. It was really pleasure talking with you, and I look forward to many more sessions like this. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
same
thank
here. Same from my side. Thank you so much, Yakasa, for having this session and giving me the opportunity to join as a speaker in this session. And thank you, Shahid, for your time and for giving your valuable opinion on the modern
Thank
hiring
you.
process. It would really mean a lot for me and for all the the job seekers or who are watching this live session.
Thank you
So
very much.
it was very nice talking to you both and and it was nice sharing my opinions with you. So yes, that's it.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Right, right. So thank you very much. It was really great session. I enjoyed many parts of it, and there were some many moments also, which and for me personally also, there were many learning things, especially the LinkedIn ATS part and
I
mystery
will share
job
the link
seeking
with you.
part.
I will share the link with you.
Yeah, right. Okay. So once again, everyone, thank you very much, and we will
Thank
see.
you
We will
so much.
announce our next plan session, and stay in touch. Thank you.